You've been waiting long enough. God's been waiting long enough. I've been waiting long enough. It is time to do the 2024 wrap. Here we go. Good evening, beloved. Welcome back to my channel. It is January the 14th, 2025, and it is about 10:15ish p.m. I just stopped working, I don't know, maybe 35 minutes ago, and I am very beat. It's been a long, long day, but everyone's been waiting long enough for this video, so I have to record this video tonight, right now, at this moment, because I have no other time left in this week to do it, and it's got to get out this week because I feel like I'm being pushed to get on with it, right? So here we are. Let's recap for 2024. And here I have the 2024 journal here. So I am going to go in, and this is how this is my thoughts on how I'm going to structure this video. The first thing that I want to do is go in and share life assignments that were completed in 2024. And then we're going to get into some of the goals that I had set for 2024 and discuss whether they took place or not. What is my definition of a life assignment? I really have no idea. I really have no idea, and I'm not sure why I called it a life assignments. But prior to 2024, I had never really thought of it this way, thought of certain things that was going to happen over the course of a year to determine the changes in life, right? I was more focused on, and some of you may be like that, I was more focused on what goals I could reach, what things I can check off my vision board list, right, of what I can do within the year. But 2024, the beginning of 2024, for some reason, and it wasn't even on my vision board. You didn't hear me talk about any life assignments in the vision board. But during the January of 2024, the thought kind of came to me that, well, it wasn't really a thought. We all know who it was. It was the Father. It was God. It was Jesus. It was the Almighty. It was my Father. It was my instructor. It was my counselor. It was my creator. He gave me this word of life assignments. Now, that wasn't the word that I was focused on for 2024. If you watch the vision board video, the Get Ready With Me vision board video, the word that I was focused on for 2024 was obedience. That was the word that I was focused on. Obedience. And so everything about 2024 was all about me being more obedient to the Spirit, more obedient to God, learning how to deny myself and just walk with Him. And boy, did we do that. And we did that through what He gave me as life assignments. In the journal, I did record them, and there were 4 major life assignments that I had to complete in 2024, and they all got completed. And you can see here, we're gonna talk about the life assignments. And at the beginning of the year, He didn't tell me what these life assignments was. I didn't get the instructions for them, or I didn't even identify what they were until they were just happening, right? It was, well, maybe there were probably a couple of months before they were supposed to happen, but not all of them was identified right away. It was as I was going along, he was instructing me what to do, how to do it, when to do it, right? So it was nothing planned. It was just things that were happening, and they were happening fast, really, really fast. So let's go over what the life assignments were. The first life assignment that was given to me was I had to move out of the apartment that I was in North Carolina and move back in with my parents in Virginia. And I actually did know this was going to happen in 2024. Um, at the end of 2023, me and the gentleman, and I was living with a gentleman. I was living with someone I had been in a, I don't know if you want to call it a relationship. I had been in a situationship with this person for over 10 years. We were together for quite a while, over 10 years, and majority of the time that I was in this situationship, I was in school. I was pursuing dreams. I wasn't really focused on the relationship, which is why things happened the way they did. Things were left the way they were left because I had really no focus. I didn't put any time in it. I was more focused on my career and moving forward with my father's business, right? And so we had this situationship just lingered. It wasn't moving. It was just sitting still, standing still. It wasn't progressing. And at the end of 2023, me and the gentleman, we realized that it was not progressing. We had a very, very brief conversation about it. We had conversations about it many times prior, but no one pulled the trigger, right? No one said anything. No one made any changes. We kind of just mentioned it and let things be. I can't speak for him, but in my mind, I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to deal with it because I knew it meant a lot of changes. And while I was somewhat comfortable in the situationship, I was also hurting by it because we had been together so long, and what I had wanted from the relationship was not an option, or at least it wasn't an option at that time. So to really, really address the thing, right? To address the situation meant that I had to come to terms with the depth of that relationship. And up until 2024, I was just not interested in doing that. And like I said, I can't speak for him, but I imagine it was similar because he showed no interest prior to the end of 2023 um, to make any changes or to really address the issue. But we finally did. At the end of 2023, we finally had that somewhat of a conversation about it. And although it wasn't set in stone what was going to take place, through my relationship with God, through my communications, my quiet time with God, he told me that that was the last time me and the gentleman was going to have that conversation, that I was to move forward, to leave the situationship at the beginning of 2024. And once again, that's what I did. I actually moved in April. It took me a couple of months to move, and I'm looking at the receipt for the rental, the moving truck that I had to rent to move my belongings from one state to another. It took me until April, right, to move because I was also working. I had a trial that was scheduled for the end of February. No, was it the end of February? No, it was the end of March. No, I am wrong. Let's see here. I am sorry. I did go through the book and kind of pull together what I wanted to talk about in the video. I did do that previously, but I didn't give it any structure. I just said this is what I was going to do. I try not to give these videos. I try not to give these videos any structure because I want them to be real, right? I want them to be as raw as possible because that is when God is speaking through me, when I have no expectation. I'm just going with the flow. So that's what's happening here. You probably have already picked that up. But yes, that's what's happening here. Okay, I had, let's see. So this is what happened. Okay, so I had a trial scheduled for April the 22nd through the 24th. So I was in Maryland because that's where I'm bored at. I was in Maryland in the end of April, from April the 22nd to the 24th, and I returned on the 25th. I moved April the 26th, the very next day. The very next day, that's when I moved from North Carolina back to Virginia. And I moved all by myself, just me and God, and of course my puppy because he was with me. He's here with me now. Um, I packed up the U-Haul. I rented the U-Haul, packed up the U-Haul, packed all of my belongings, drove the U-Haul to my parents' house, unpacked and settled in all by myself. And I did it all within 2 days. I moved within one day and I was settled in my room where we are right now within one day. Within one day. It happened that quickly. That quickly. Did I schedule to move on the 26th? I did. I did I did schedule that. But I'm going to tell you, beloved, I didn't schedule the move until I was in Maryland preparing for my trial. Okay. And I'm going to be flipping back and forth because my notes are here. I actually got to Maryland on the 8th, well, on the 17th. So I was in Maryland for a couple of weeks, preparing for this trial that did not take place. Actually, the trial it was supposed to take place, but it did not, for totally different reasons. But anyway, I got there on the 17th. I got there April the 17th, and I didn't I didn't actually plan the move until on the 19th, which is on a Friday. Why it took me so long is because I knew I had to go, but I was still procrastinating. And the whole time I was up there prior to the 19th, God was dealing with me with it. I was unsettled. I wasn't able to focus entirely like I should have on preparing for the trial until after that evening on the 19th. I sat down and solidified all of the moving plans. I booked the truck. I thought about when I was going to get the boxes, and I planned it, and I had to do it immediately. As soon as I got back from Maryland, I was moving, and that's exactly what I did. And this is what I wrote in the book. My second life assignment moved out from home. We were not married and not in love. I was still there because of fear. No more fear, standing on God's word. The reason why I didn't leave before was all out of fear. All out of fear. Until it wasn't. And I called that my second life assignment because the first life assignment was to decide, was my decision to be obedient, my decision to walk in obedience for the entire year. The third life assignment is, you're going to find this really weird, but here we are. The third life assignment was I had to get rid of the U-Haul storage building that I was paying for. So I don't, back in 2019, no, 20, 2016, back in 2016, when, remember, you, and you know this is nothing new to you guys. Back in 2016, when I had got evicted from the apartment, um, in the apartment that I was living in while I was in law school. When I got evicted from that apartment, I actually had to move back in with my parents for a little while so I can finish law school, right? And so when I did that, all of my belongings that I had in the apartment, because the apartment was furnished, it was completely furnished, and it was a 2-bedroom townhome. It was a townhome, actually. It was upstairs and downstairs townhome that was completely furnished, including workout equipment, right? It was I had a lot of furniture. And so I didn't have anywhere to put that furniture when I moved back in with my parents, because I didn't get my own place. And even when I graduated law school, I still didn't have my own place technically, because I immediately moved back in with the situation, and we're just gonna call him the situation. And so I had nowhere to put the furniture that I had. So what I ended up doing was renting a storage unit. I had this storage building for a long time. I mean, when it started, I was only paying like 40 something dollars a month for it back in 2016. I didn't get rid of the storage unit until 2024. And I'm going to tell you what date that was that I actually got rid of it. But the day that I got rid of the storage unit, I was up to paying $89.95 a month for the unit. So after I moved in, God immediately told me, get rid of the building. And when he said that, I'm like, get rid of it? Okay, what do you want me to do with the items that are in it? Like, I have nowhere to put those items. Get rid of the items. Out with all of the old. What are you holding on for? Holding on to it for? You hadn't used any of that stuff. You hadn't wanted to use any of that stuff within all these years. Why are you holding on to it? Are you afraid? Are you concerned that when you are able to get your own place, that you're not going to have furniture? That I'm not going to provide for you to have kitchen appliances? That I'm not going to provide for you to have a living room set, a lamp, or anything like that? Are you afraid that I'm not going to provide for you? Is that why you're holding on to all of this unnecessary baggage? Because that stuff was baggage. Because anytime I thought about moving or anything like that, the expense of having to move everything out of that storage unit to move it to wherever it is that I was going always loomed. It was always an expense that I dreaded thinking about, because you may know, I'm sure you know if you've moved before, moving furniture, moving things, especially if you're moving from one state to another, gets expensive, gets really expensive. So God was like, why are you holding on to that burden? Let it go. Let it go. And you only have 1 month to let it go. 1 month. From April, I had to the end of May. So I moved back in with my parents on April the 26th. Remember, that is the day that I moved back in. I had until the end of May to get rid of the storage unit. He only gave me a month. So I had until May. I'm gonna tell you the exact date. You know I am. The 28th to get rid of the storage unit. 1 month. I've had that storage unit for over 5 years. He gave me 1 month to get rid of it. And it was full with boxes, all kinds of appliances, all kinds of utensils, of kitchen stuff, living room stuff, decorations, everything, including a whole living room suite. Just everything. Anything and everything. A desk, like all of it, the whole 9 yards. I was told to get rid of it. How did I get rid of it? Was amazing. I can't even really tell you other than the fact that I told anybody and everybody that I was getting rid of the storage, that I was cleaning it out, getting rid of it. And if they wanted something, you better get it. You better pick it up, come get it. And that's what happened. That's what happened. Everything went to many different people. Many different people. I didn't sell a thing. I didn't make any money off of that. I just gave it all away. He told me to get rid of it. He never said anything about making a profit off of it. So I just got rid of everything. And the day that I closed it out was June 1st of 2024. And the reason why it was June 1st, because that was the next business day that someone was there. The storage unit actually got cleaned out on May the 29th of 2024. That last day, because there was only one box left in there that I had to go get. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the stuff in the box, and the stuff that was in the box was Sebastian's some little furniture that I had for him. So I had to determine what I was going to do with that. That was the last thing that was in the storage building. And as soon as I got rid of that, the storage was cleaned out and I turned in the keys on June 1st of 2024. And this is what I wrote in the journal. Get it done. Third life assignment completed. Bye to the past. Obedience. Still being obedient. Moving along. The third. Well, I guess this would be the fourth at this point. The fourth life assignment that was given to me, to rejoin my home church. I had moved and so me in the situation, when me in the situation was getting what I considered to be a little bit more serious, when things were moving along, and we had to been probably within year, I don't know, probably year four or five of the situationship, right? We were in. We had been in the relationship for quite a little bit, over, I think it was about 4.5 to 5 years. And at that time, we were both kind of, I don't know, what am I looking for? We were both kind of willing, open to the possibility that we could be each other's person, right? He shared the same faith values as I shared. He's actually a minister. In that regard, we were somewhat equally yoked, right? We shared similar interests. So the possibility that we were the idea, right, that we were each other's person was fine with us for that brief moment. And I jumped the gun. because I had been staying with him and I had been attending the church that he was attending, and I was active. We actually did things as a couple in the church. People knew us as a couple in the church, in his church. And so, because was actively involved, I decided to switch my membership from my home church, and I was going to join his church because I wanted to have myself open to, if we're really going to do this, if we're going to get married, then I need to join his church. Like, I need to make myself available to his ministry. I never did it. I did remove my membership from my home church, but the opportunity. Oh, what I was gonna say something about the situation. Oh, so as I was saying, there was never peace about joining his church, so I never did it. I never did it. There was no peace there, so I didn't have to worry about removing my membership there. I never joined it at all, but I did rejoin my church, and I don't remember the exact date that I removed my membership, but I rejoined my church on August the 25th of 2024, and this is what I wrote in the journal. Third, I said third, but we know that's the fourth life assignment, right? Life assignment completed started on August the 25th of 2024. I rejoined my home church, New Design Missionary Baptist Church. Yes. Started working with finance committee, faith increasing because I said yes to praise and worship in the middle of work. God is awesome, faithful, your grace and mercy. Okay, so what I meant by I said yes to praise and worship in the middle of work, what I think precipitated, right? And if you don't know, hear me out. When you say yes to one thing, no matter how small it is, if that one thing is that you're saying yes to give God some time, and it's in your path, it's in the path that you're supposed to be on, He's going to give you more. He's going to show you more immediately. This is what I mean. On August, okay, so we're talking about the day before now. So August the 24th, which was on a Saturday, I was working. I was supposed to have been working on that Saturday. I took my dog out. I took Sebastian out for a walk. And as I was walking him, one of my neighbors invited me to church with them that Saturday evening, right? That Saturday evening, because her daughter was doing a concert, a gospel concert. It was her daughter's group's anniversary. So it was going to be like a concert. There was going to be various church groups, singers, artists, I guess if you will, that was going to be singing in this anniversary concert. So she asked me if I wanted to join them on the to go to church with them that night. I didn't even think about it. I immediately said yes, even though I was busy. Like, I had so much going on that week, and I didn't get everything done. I mean, I met deadlines, right? I met the deadlines, but I was pushing it. But I didn't care. I said yes. And I believe me saying yes to that, instead of sitting at home and working and doing what I always do, just working. Instead of me doing that, I said no to money and said yes to God. And we praised and worshiped all night. I don't think I got back home. The concert started at like 5:30, 5 o'clock or something like that. I didn't get back home until about 1 o'clock in the morning. And of course, I didn't do any work after that. I was tired, dead tired. So I went to bed, but got up that next Sunday morning, got up the 25th, which was a Sunday. And also, mind you, during the month of August, I was working on the next life assignment. And I didn't even do anything for that one either. I said no to everything and said yes to God. And because of that, the very next day on the 25th, I heard him when he told me, because prior to the 25th, I had no idea that I was going to, well, I take that back. I take that back 100%. I had thought about it, right? I had thought about rejoining my church. I just didn't know when, nor did I know if it was the right thing to do, because I didn't know if I was staying here, right? I didn't know what was happening. So I thought about it, but I didn't talk to God about it. I made no mention to him about it. But so I was not aware, even when I woke up on the 25th, I wasn't aware that I was going to rejoin my church. I didn't know that I was going to rejoin my church until the pastor opened the doors to the church at the end of service. And he said, "Will there be one?" I stood up. I said, "Oh, yeah, that's me." And I honestly believe, as I said, that took place because I had said yes the night before. Had I said no to worshiping at that concert all night, I'm not sure if I would have indeed did rejoin my church. But that's neither here or there, because I was what? Obedient, was being obedient all of 2024, and that's where it led me. And so, by virtue of you joining a church, you should be actively involved. And I think I mentioned this in another video before, and I just mentioned it this time. I started working with the finance committee. Shortly thereafter, I rejoined the church, and I do have an update on that I will share in a later video, because it's bigger than just that one finance committee. The pastor has asked me to do something else, so I will share that with you a little later on. Okay, moving on. I'm trying to rush through this. Bear with me. Okay. I've got it written here as the fourth life assignment, but we do know it is the fifth, because the first is what? Being obedient. I have to keep going back and forth. I have to keep saying that, because the full lesson here is when you commit yourself to obedience, obedience to the Spirit, obedience to the Word of God. When you commit yourself to that level of obedience, wonderful things happen. But also know there's a cost for that. And by virtue of what's been going on in my life, what was going on in my life in 2024, the cost is, I am paying the cost of that, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so the fifth life assignment that was done was I finally launched my law firm to the world. Now, I know you're probably thinking, I thought you said you've had that law firm since 2020. And you're right, I did. But when I started the firm in 2020, I didn't really let anyone know that the firm actually existed, right? I didn't launch it, I didn't market it, I didn't do anything. For many years, didn't do anything. Wasn't really paying attention to the firm, that is. I started also during the time that I opened the firm, I was also contracting with another law firm as an independent contract attorney, and I'm still doing that to this day. You know that. So I got so busy and so caught up in helping that other attorney run her firm, that I completely let my firm fall by the wayside, which is a lot of the reasons why I'm struggling today, because I had not paid that much attention to my own business. I was so focused. I'm always the first person to want to help someone else. And at the time that I started working with her, she really needed my assistance because she was having health issues, and there was just really no one else no other attorney at that time that was able to help her. So I devoted 75% of my life to helping her grow her firm. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it because our relationship is very, 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 very strong. I thank God for her. I thank God that she's been my mentor. She's been practicing a lot longer than I have, and she's really, really good at she does. So I thank God that I was um, that we had the opportunity to come in each other's lives, and we're basically partners at this point, right? So I'm gonna say unofficially partners. And so I spend majority of my time, helping her, that I was not paying attention to my own firm. And I really, that really resonated with me at the end of 2023 as I was going through taxes. And I realized that I still didn't make my firm still didn't make any profit, didn't make any money really for the year of 2023. And so, plus I had been dibbling and dabbling and switching things up. I did rebrand my firm, meaning I rethought about the services that I was going to offer my clients. I did all of that in 2023. Why? In my mind, in 2023, I thought it was for one reason. Today, sitting here, I know it was for a completely different reason. Practicing peacemaking was on the horizon, and I had no idea, no clue. And so 2023 was basically for me to rebrand, to figure out what services I wanted to provide. 2024 was the year that I actually launched it to the firm, spoke about it, and I did. And I launched my firm in 2 months. In 2 months. So what I basically did to launch it was I utilized Instagram, not very well, I might add. And I promoted and marketed the firm every day for 2 months. The launch did not go very well, but I'm going to, before I get into that, let me read you what I wrote. Fourth life assignment, we know it was the fifth, completed. Started on October the 14th of 2024. We launched Hairston Law online. It is now truly open to the public. Maryland and Virginia, quite a blessing, Lord. I feel the change within. I need your strength and guidance to break through the simple behavior. Need balance. Yes. The launch did not go well. I actually didn't know what I was officially going to do to let the world know, okay, the firm is open now, even though the firm really was never shut down. I had clients the day that I launched the firm to the public. I was working on client work when I launched it, but it officially became open to the public. And I said Maryland and Virginia because as a portion of the firm is a law and conflict management firm. The conflict management portion of the firm is opening in Virginia. I have not made that huge announcement yet, which I will be doing that in 2025. When in 2025, that has not been 100% ingrained, set in stone yet, but that will be coming. But the actual launch date, what I ended up doing that day was at the last minute, at the very last minute, because I had no idea what I was going to do special, right? Other than just make a post that we're launched, that we're open or whatever. At the very last minute, I woke up that morning and God said, go live. Now, go live. I've never been live before in my life. Absolutely. I didn't know anything about going live. Matter of fact, I had originally told the people on Facebook that I was going to go live on Facebook, right? Because Instagram I thought was just too intimidating. And so I said that I was going that morning. I woke up on the 14th. When I woke up, I said that I was going to launch the firm by going live at 6 o'clock p.m. on Facebook. Well, at around 2 o'clock p.m., I was like, well, let me think about this. Let me even figure out how to go live, because I don't even know how to go live. And realized that I couldn't go live on Facebook because I didn't have enough followers. I didn't have enough people that was following me on Facebook to go live. And so the only other platform I could use was the platform that I was most intimidated by, which was Instagram. So I immediately had to alert the people that I was no longer going live on Facebook because I couldn't, that I needed to go live on Instagram, because you can go live on Instagram with, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. And I don't have a lot of followers there either. So I went live at I think it was 6 o'clock p.m. on Instagram, and let me tell you how many people showed up. 3 people, and one of the people that showed up was a family member. It was only 3 people that attended. It was more people that came in. They came in to just, I guess, be nosy, figure out what I was doing, and then they left out. They were not interested. And what I was talking about in the live was really, I did a poor job at doing it, but it was my first attempt to start talking more about God, to start bringing Jesus in my social media world. And so the objective of the live was to let's praise about the goodness of God, right? And so I attempted to do that very nervously, unprepared, had no idea what I was doing, and it came off that way. It was not a good experience. After the end of the experience, I cried. I was so humiliated, right? And I was mad. I was a little upset with God, because I was like, you had me do this, knowing that I've never done this before, and it was humiliating. Now I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I looked stupid thinking I was going live on one platform, end up going live on another platform, and it was a bust, total bust. The launch was awful. I was just going on and on and on, not seeing the bigger picture. I believe, had it not been for that experience, I wouldn't have the confidence, the Godfidence, right? The God confidence to sit here today and talk about the things that I talk about with you, beloved, here on YouTube, which was, I'm not even going to tell you how intimidated I was by YouTube, way more than Instagram, because these are much longer videos, right? So that experience led me to be able to do it this way, which was the way that he intended in the beginning. I just need to be thrown into practice, right? And I wouldn't have never done that had I not been practicing obedience. So those are all the life assignments that I achieved, that I completed for the year of 2024. I had a few goals for 2024 that I had written down in the journal. We're not really going to go over those because none of them really manifested into anything. I set them, I said I was going to do them, and really didn't even work on them. The only thing that I was focused on was the life assignments that he had gave me just out of nowhere, right? It completely changed the whole game plan that I had for 2024. The only thing that was consistent was the practice that I wanted to do, the focus of the year, which was obedience. And that worked. I was obedient. I was focused by it. I was locked in, and I was serious about it. And I am still serious about it, very serious, which is why it is almost 12 o'clock in the morning and I am still sitting here recording this video. Overall, that my 2024 has not been great, but the life assignments made up for all of that. What God wanted me to achieve in 2024, where he wanted me to be in 2024, came to pass. Everything that I had set out, me, myself, my person, my human, my flesh, everything that I had set out to do for 2024, none of it took place. Well, there were a couple of things that I did do. Remember, I wrote that book. Being obedient to God did take place. That practice alone changed everything. So certain things did take place, but all of the other self things, the flesh things, the material things, none of that happened. In fact, it was just the opposite. I lost it all. And it's fine. Because what I really wanted was a deeper, closer relationship with my Creator. And I got it. All because what? Being obedient, beloved. So that is the end of the 2024 wrap. I hope this all made sense to you. I tried to do it as expeditiously as I possibly could. If it's longer than I intended, I do apologize, but I do feel like there are certain things that I needed to say, and I think I've done that. I don't think there is anything else left for me to say. The moral of the story is obedience will win every time, good or bad. But just know when you submit yourself, okay, this is the true word that he wants you to know. When you submit yourself 100%, there's going to be things that happen that are uncomfortable, that are not fun, that are ugly, and you're going to have to be okay with it. You're going to have to suck it up and move forward if you're serious about your yes, if you're serious about your agreement with him, if you are serious about your faith walk, your purpose, you're going to have to suck up all the bad, pick up your cross, and walk. And it's not easy. It's very challenging. There's a lot of tears. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of a lot. And it's going to take emotional maturity, emotional intelligence. It's going to take knowing God, reading his word, meditating on that day and night to get you to the point where you can pick that cross up in the middle of chaos, in the middle of destruction. You could say, hallelujah, I'm still moving forward. And that, beloved, is my segue in to my purpose, why I am here, why I am opening up my entire life to share with you, to teach you how to do that if you don't know. That's what I'm here for. That's what Sheena Yvonne identity has came to be. That is what practicing peacemaking is going to be all about. Moving forward, I will take you on my journey of getting this all set up, implementing everything that I have been learning, everything that I have been working on, putting it to work, ready to launch it, ready to introduce it, ready to get the community going. Will you join me? Okay, good evening. It is Thanksgiving Eve. What is it? Wednesday, November the 27th, and it is about let's see. It is 11:07 p.m. I am coming on because I have to be obedient. I finished the book. It's done. The first draft. As always, beloved, be guided by his light.